And welcome, ladies and gents, to Chapter 9, Lesson 9, Finding the Number when a percent of it is known. Why don't you go ahead, pause the video, take a look at your answers from the previous assignment. Come on back when you're ready. Bring those questions, folks. Hey, today we're going to build on things that we have already been doing. So if you'll forgive me, this is a different computer today. We're going to do the best we can. Hey, where before you used to find percents of a number, 34% of 90 is what number? Now, we're saying 34% of what number is 90. So perhaps you can see the difference from here to here. And eventually we'll be using these percent issues to do percent applications, finding out if you deposit $1,000 into an account and you get $1,000.25, or whatever the case might be, what is the percent increase, decrease, percentage of error? All those will be coming. But today our goal, our objective is I will find a number when a percent of it is known. Go ahead and pause if you wish. Come on back when you're ready. So I have 3 examples, ladies and gents. I'd suggest you write all 3 of them down, if not 2 of them. But for each of those, I'm going to show you 2 methods. Student with strong skills can do one method. Students with the strongest skills could do both at any time. All right, so let's go here. 20% of what number is 15? All right, so 20%, that's the easy part. 20 per 100. Of what number is 15? Now picture this out here. 20% is 15. That means we don't know the whole thing. Well, I said I was going to use n. Oh well. But we do know that small part is 15. Now, you guys know me. I'm trying to come up with an estimate. 20 versus 100. 20 is actually close to 15, so I don't know. Maybe 90-ish. But at this point, we can go ahead and either use our cross products or go straight into, you know what? I'm not going to use cross products here because check this out. We can reduce 20 hundredths. And now we can say, oh, got this. If this pen would be nice to me, huh? 1 times 15 is 15. So let's be fair, 5 times 15, and just like that, n is 75. Now I'm going to show you the equation method, just a reminder, where you have 20%, you can change that to a decimal. And of course, you don't need that ghost zero, but you can if you want. 20% of some number is 15. Okay, but Mr. Callan, we want to know what n is. Yep. So let's get rid of that. 20% or 20 hundredths or 2/10, however you want to say it. So we go ahead, divide 2/10 by 2/10. That gives us a single n. Good. That was our ultimate goal. What is n going to be? And of course here we change that to 2. And 150 divided by 2, you guessed it, is 75. You will get the same answer either way, ladies and gents. Again, students with strong skills can do it one way, 80% of the time, get it correct. Students with the strongest skills can do the same problems 2 different ways. Let's try another one, shall we? In this case, 3.5% of what number is 7? So I'll go ahead and write 3.5% as 3.5 per 100. Of something, we don't know what that something is 7. Now imagine that picture, ladies and gents. 3.5% is a very small amount. So imagine another 7 here, another 7 here, another 7 here. It's going to be, wait a second, I don't know, 150? Bigger than that? But check this out, guys. 3.5 times 2, 100 times 2. Well, that one was not bad at all. Meanwhile, equation method changed 3.5% into decimal form. And again, you have 3%, that's 3 hundredths, and another part of a cent or part of a hundredth, that would be in the thousandths, right? So 35 thousandths times some missing number is 7. And if you were to divide by that same tiny quantity, you would say, okay, that gives us a single n. Let's be fair. Change that to a whole number. 1, 2, 3. So essentially we're now dividing 7,000 by 35. And while 35 does not go into 7, it does go into 70. And you're not going to be surprised that it is 200. Which was pretty close to my estimate of 150. Not the best estimate, but I saw that times 2 pretty quickly. Question, Mr. Cowan, is it always going to be some very nice scale factor to multiply or divide by? And the answer is nope, not always. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do it the cross products way. Now, it won't be pretty, but at least you get to see it. 150% of what number is 12? Okay, 12 is the part. Now, wait a second. 150 is bigger than 100. In fact, it's twice as big. Well, no, it's 1.5 times as big. So I don't know. What do you think? 9? Something like that? But at least we came up with a good estimate. Now, let's go ahead and use our cross products because Mr. Cowan has not showed you the old-fashioned cross products way, where we're going to set up a new equation. 150 times some missing number is equal to 12 times 100. Now, I don't know what 150 times n is. After all, n is an unknown. But 12 times 100 is 1200. Now, if we want to know what n is, let's go ahead and split these 150 n's into 150 parts. And when we do that, I would recommend reducing by 10 so that you really only have to divide 120 by 15. Now, 15 does not go into 1, it doesn't go into 12, but it does go into 120. Is it 8 times? That's supposed to be a 5. It looks like an 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is, well, look at that. Which was pretty close to our estimate of 9, huh? Meanwhile, equation method. What number times n equals 12? Oh, wait a second. 150%. 150% is 150 hundredths, which I would argue you don't need that extra 0. So let's go ahead and divide both sides by 1 5/10, which is a little funky. So now we're going to change that to a whole number, and we're going to be fair to the dividend as well. Anything you do to the divisor, you must do the dividend. And look at that, 120 divided by 15. I feel like we just did that. So to repeat, for all of these problems, you may set up a proportion and solve for the missing piece, or you may convert the percent into a decimal and create a decimal equation. But the most important thing to realize is that it's the whole thing that is not known if it says 20% of what number is the part. Please remember, anytime we're comparing something, compare part to whole. Now, that doesn't mean the part is always smaller. If you're putting money into a bank account, into an investment, I would venture to say that you eventually want your part to grow, right? So it's okay if that number is larger than 100%. In fact, there are definitely times you want it to be larger than 100%. All right, folks, that's all I have for now. Go ahead on to assignment number 21, and let's grow.